Good afternoon from Bali, everyone. It's Anifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I wanted to talk about the mind-body connection, which affects all of us, not just as individuals, but collectively as a whole, too. And I thought I'd start with this first quotation, which is very basic, but I hope hits a spot for you. It says, "Before you heal the body, you must first heal the mind." Before you heal the body, you must first heal the mind. Now, this is an interesting concept because we can kind of, excuse me, understand that if the mind is restless, it's not very easy for the body to heal. And most people understand this, that, or if the mind is very tired, it doesn't have extra energy. And so in those times, always good to sleep, and sleep always helps healing for the body. And the next quotation I wanted to make sure that you understand, and again, not just for our own individual perspective, but certainly for our individual perspective too, but our collective perspective as well. This says, the mind and body are not separate. What affects one affects the other. And again, a lot of times people, or many times, people can understand this for themselves personally. And of course, we are the microcosm that reflects the macrocosm outside of us. And if we notice this happening in all sorts of fields of activity. So, of course, I can focus on medicine and say that, wow, the mind of medicine might be this whole idea of knowledge. The amount of information that we gather creates this body of knowledge, So this body of knowledge, oftentimes we think, well, that's our mind, but it's really a body of knowledge because knowledge changes and our body changes. We can say our mind changes too, but remember, what affects one affects the other. So the more information that we learn about anything, the more help we can have towards something. So if we learn more about nutrition and how it can help us, we can learn what to do with it. And then the mind, the collective mind can be more of everything from social advertising to what people talk about to practices that we see that seem to help some people and practices that we see that do not help some people. And you know that research falls into this gray zone because, again, today I can learn that coffee is really healthy, and then tomorrow I can learn that coffee is not so healthy, things like that. And again, then we understand that the earth and the water, all of the quality of that affects the nutrition that goes into me too. So it's a much bigger body of information than we understand. Yet what affects one affects the other. So the mind, if my mind is aware that, having a good number of glasses of water in a day is really healthy for me, yet I choose not to do that, that mind-body connection is not there in my healing. And this is the same thing that happens within companies of any sort. And again, we can talk about healthcare as kind of an area that we can learn so much information, yet unless we put it into practice, we don't actually heal. And this means collectively and individually. So it's interesting that when I work with grief recovery, of course, one of the things that I teach clients regularly right from the beginning is that time does not heal. So time, it doesn't matter if someone is hurting over something today and if they think, oh, I just won't think about it anymore and it'll get better. And a lot of people say time heals all wounds, and it doesn't, not physical or mental, emotional. So this is easy to figure out on a physical level, right? So if I have an injury, unless I take the time needed for healing to do what can help, so whether I take the right supplements, whether I take the right rest, whether I take the right nutrition, all of that helps heal the wound. Same thing happens for mental emotional wounds. And for mental emotional wounds, more people are used to distracting themselves. So used to, oh, I'll just get caught up in this. And I know I'm hurting about this, but I'll just move on. And it was so long ago anyway, so I'll just move on. But remember, the mind-body connection is what affects one affects the other. So if I'm distracting myself from healing this mental emotional space and hoping that time will make it better, it doesn't. And all that happens is there's a distraction for a certain length of time, and then we move back into the space that has not healed. And this again can happen for an injury on the body or an injury to heart or the mind. And so today I thought I would also share this idea. It says the attempt to escape from pain is what creates more pain. This is by Gabor Mate, who speaks a lot about trauma. And again, it's very true that the attempt to escape from pain is what creates more pain. And let's say we can think of this as I don't like this colleague at work, so I'm just going to move my desk so that my back is to that colleague. And guess what? Either another colleague comes in or the boss says, oh, you need to move your desk back. Something happens that creates a bit more pain. And again, suddenly a person could be seen as, oh, this person doesn't get along with colleagues, this person isn't working together. That can happen in that way. And this is a whole mind-body thing too, that this mind individualizing itself, that I can do what I would like to, affects the whole group dynamics. And again, I come back to health for the individual. And if we avoid that, there is a lot of mental, emotional, unhealed energy in the world that affects the collective mind, that affects each individual mind. And each individual mind that takes the effort and the work, the intention to heal, helps heal the entire collective body too, body and mind. And so today I thought I'd read this quotation. It's by a website that's called notsalmon.com. So I don't have any affiliation with this particular website, but I really do like this quotation. This quotation says, if you never heal from what hurt you, then you'll bleed on people who did not cut you. If you never heal from what hurt you, then you will bleed on people who did not cut you. And this is so true. So let's say you never heal from that colleague in the office and all the not kind things that they said to you or did to you or went behind your back to do. And you've never healed. The next colleague that you get, you will bleed on them every judgment, every opinion, every pain that you felt from the previous colleague, even though the new person might be wonderful and you think, yeah, I wonder what they're hiding. And often the mind will go into this space. Now, this is what has happened collectively. There's a lot more judgment and suspicion of one another rather than trust and goodwill. And this is something that we can each start from ourselves, that if I trust that I know something has not been healed in me, can I take the effort to heal it? Can I take the effort to do some reflection, some self-inspection, to understand myself and observe and see what is it that holds this back from being the best it is or can be? And oftentimes people will blame other things or things in the external environment of this is what's affecting my mind. Because this is like this, it's affecting my mind. And because this person sits this close to my desk, that's what's affecting my body, my physical space. Or because I have to use a non-ergonomic chair, that's why my body hurts. And we have all sorts of reasons. So I can say that I've got a non-ergonomic chair and I make sure that I get up and I stretch and I make sure that I'm conscious of what this body needs. Then I can also say that, oh, I really don't like that person sits so closely to me. So I can adjust my mind of, you know what? It's okay. I'm as close to them as they are to me. And I choose to be in a peaceful space. And this is healing myself to heal what's around me. So this is energetic medicine, and this is affecting all of us all over the world in all sorts of professions. Tomorrow, I am going to talk a little bit more about contemplation and self-reflection so that people can understand how this can heal ourselves and the world around us. For today, know that we cannot separate the mind and body. What affects one affects the other, and whether we think of ourselves as our own mind body or we think of the collective, and I hope that we will think of the collective, we affect one another. We are strongly interconnected. And I hope that today you will interconnect with each other through love, compassion, peace, and purity. I wish you a fabulous day ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.